Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. This is IMAX Sports with another football video, and today I'm going over why the Arizona Cardinals will win Super Bowl 57. This is the third video in the series where I'm going over all of the Super Bowl contenders, in my opinion, and some of the major reasons why they have a good chance to win the Super Bowl this year. Arizona's next in the list. They were my official pick to win the Super Bowl last year. The last couple of years, my official pick has gone undefeated for a while and then kind of died. Arizona went 7-0 last year, finished 11-6, and lost in the first round of the playoffs. So, I think that they will have a better season this year overall than how last year ended, but we will see. First big thing is the fact that they're getting Marquis Brown. Now, I know that DeAndre Hopkins was a 6-game suspension, but Marquis Brown is a beast. He's been the starting wide receiver on the Ravens for the last few years, and although Lamar Jackson doesn't throw the ball a whole lot, I think that with Kyler Murray passing the football to him, the addition of Marquis Brown to the already stacked lineup of DeAndre Hopkins and A.J. Green is going to be a good young addition to that receiving core. A.J. Green is old. He plays old. But DeAndre Hopkins, with his 6-game suspension, they'll need someone else to fill in that role while he's gone. And then once Hopkins gets back, it'll be a furious three-headed dog at wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals next year. Next, we have James Conner. James Conner is, in my opinion, the most underrated player in the NFL, or one of. In 2018, he was in either his rookie season or second year, he had 1,470 yards and 13 touchdowns in just 13 games. I believe it was his second year in the league. He was the starting running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and this was one of the only years of his career where he's been healthy for most of the season as a starting running back. Last year, he had 1,127 yards and 18 touchdowns in just 15 games. James Conner and that was with Arizona, fighting against Chase Edmonds. I think that James Conner is the better running back between Edmonds and Conner, and the fact that Edmonds is gone and Conner can just be the premier back and take that load and just run with it, I think is a phenomenal advantage for the Cardinals offense. James Conner is a workhorse. He can take hits, and I can see him playing 15 to 17 games, getting almost 2,000 scrimmage yards and getting a decent number of touchdowns if he stays healthy and he's able to play the way that he's been playing. James Conner is a phenomenal, versatile running back, and I think that the fact that he's going to be their sole running back next year, as far as starters are concerned, is a big benefit. It also takes some of the lean off of Kyler Murray a little bit. I think that the combination of James Conner and Kyler Murray is going to be big. I know they had that combination last year, but I think that this year, with James Conner being the sole running back, it'll be even bigger. I also want to talk about the Arizona Cardinals defense. The Cardinals arguably have a top 10 defense in the league right now. Last year, they were 11th in yards and 11th in points. I think a lot of that had to do with the way that they declined towards the end of the season, but their defense is still one of the stronger defenses in the league. They have some big names like Budda Baker, Byron Murphy, Zaven Collins, Zach Allen, and obviously J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt is on the older side, but he's still a phenomenal player. It's always exciting to watch J.J. Watt play football. And I think that and he was injured last year, I think that even though they lost Chandler Jones, they're still going to be a pretty strong defensive core for this season coming up. Budda Baker is dominant in the secondary. They have a lot of strong players to back them up. Byron Murphy looks promising. And I think that Arizona's defense with Cliff Kingsbury is going to gel even better next year. Even if they don't have all of the star players, I think that they're going to have a decent season. They're going to work well together. And I think that J.J. Watt's leadership and the way that he works with the coach and the way that the team works together is going to be it's going to be big for the team. I think that this team is a young team. Overall, it's a very young team. And they're all starting to get to work together. They're all starting to figure things out a little bit more. Jalen Thompson, the young safety, is really strong. Once he gets another year under the coaching of Cliff Kingsbury with all these other guys, him and Budda Baker are going to lock down the safety position. Marco Wilson's another young player. It's a young defense. It's a really young defense. And I'm excited to see what they're able to do next season. I don't think that they'll be a top 5 defense, but I can see them being like top 7, top 8. And even just that jump from 11 to 7 or 8 could be a big jump, especially in the playoffs if you need them in big-time games. If that secondary can clutch up with all those young players surrounding Budda Baker, and the guys on the inside around J.J. Watt can really clutch up, then this Cardinals defense is one of those teams that can really win playoff games if they need to. I also wanted to talk about Zach Ertz. In 2021, they added a veteran tight end, Zach Ertz, who's been on the Philadelphia Eagles for the majority of his career. And in my opinion, he really elevated his game back to his old form when he entered Arizona. He was on the Eagles for the first part of last season, and then he joined Arizona, and he looked back to his old self. He had some injuries towards the beginning of the season that he had to deal with, but once he got back and he was in Arizona, he looked phenomenal. He had 5 touchdowns in not too many games, and I think that with a full season with Kyler Murray, especially with DeAndre Hopkins being suspended for 6 games, Zach Ertz is going to have a great season, and he's going to be a crucial addition to that offense between him, James Conner, DeAndre Hopkins, Marquis Brown, AJ Green, and last but certainly not least, we have Kyler Murray. I think that the key factor for the Arizona Cardinals, not only to make the playoffs, but to do well in the playoffs, is for Kyler Murray to not let his salary affect him. I think that a lot of guys play well before they get paid, and then sometimes they shut down, and sometimes they live up to the expectations. Patrick Mahomes has lived up to the expectations. The year after he got paid, I think he went 15-1. That might have been the year before, but it also might have been the year after. Kyler Murray got paid last year, and I think that could bring some extra motivation for him to be the guy that they want him to be. Some extra motivation for him to really take the next step in his progression as a quarterback to really be an elite quarterback. He's made the Pro Bowl the last 2 seasons, even though I'm not necessarily sure he deserved it. He beat Tom Brady out for it when Tom Brady had 40 touchdowns, and then last year he missed a few games of the season, and he still made the Pro Bowl with underwhelming statistics. But I think that this year he's really going to want to prove himself, especially with what people are saying about him, saying that he's overrated, that he isn't as good as he is. I think that he's going to use that fuel, and I think that he's going to be able to really pop off next season and show what he's able to do. So those are my biggest reasons why the Arizona Cardinals will win Super Bowl 57 next season. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm really excited for football season to come back around. And the NFC West, once again, is going to be a fun division to watch. Seattle's kind of out of it, but the Rams, the Cardinals, and the 49ers are all going to be tough. So, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace.